Classic Restos is proudly brought to you by Shannons Insurance, Penrite Oil, Hare and Forbes Machinery House, and Pace Farm Eggs.
Hello and welcome to part 2 of Americarna for 2016 here in New Plymouth in the North Island of New Zealand. But before we go any further, here's this.
It's thanks to Shannons. Ask about multi-policy discounts and sign up for the Shannons Club. Call 134646 for a quote and see more at shannons.com.au. For oils, coolants, additives and technical assistance, oil right, use Penrite. And Hare and Forbes has the range. Buy online at machineryhouse.com.au.
Now, on last week's episode of Classic Restos, you saw just a glimpse of Americarna for 2016, as over 600 classics built by Uncle Sam cruised from town to town. And before we go any further on today's show, here is a little from the Friday night cruise around the city of New Plymouth. Well, this is it, the Saturday, the last day for Americarna 2016. And there's no better way than to close the event for the year than to close the main street here in New Plymouth to bring on the incredible show and shine. Of Americarna, drawing thousands of spectators, hundreds of entrants, the finest in restored and preserved classics, and of course the closing of Devon Street here in New Plymouth. Americarna is unique. To my knowledge, no other country outside of the USA stages an event such as this to showcase the celebration of the American classic vehicle. And now, it's my job to try and show you some more. First cab off the rank here today in New Plymouth, we have Ron. Hello, Ron.
Fletch, how's things, mate?
Good, mate, good. Now, look, the sun's not out to fully appreciate the colour of your Pontiac, but it doesn't matter. This would have to be one of the most exciting metallic paint jobs I think I've seen.
Yeah, it's House of Colour, Kandy, Tangerine, and it does have all sorts of different effects under the sun.
Ron, this is an amazing car, 1959 Pontiac. The shape across the top of the rear quarters, the V section, that is incredible. I don't think there's any other car that went down that road.
No, it's unique, and that was one of the things that attracted us to the car, and one of the things I've always a bit liked about the 59 Pontiacs.
Yeah.
And never realised that we actually might end up owning one day.
It's amazing. I mean, talk about a car with fins. I mean, this car here, you get an extra bonus too thrown in.
Yeah, I know, but there's a fair few square metres to clean too, Fletch. You want to try polishing the bloody...
So, Ron, how did you get the car?
This was a 2008 Beach Hop giveaway car, and we really hoped that we were going to win it. We never ever did. And it was after Americarna last year that my wife spotted it for sale and made the comment that she could actually give up her Camaro for this car. So, hey, that was the only encouragement I needed.
Sue did well there, didn't she?
Yeah, mate, she did. She did very well.
So the Camaro's gone, Pontiac in.
Well, Camaro and a 58 Chev for a Pontiac. How's that? Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, so we had to make a bit of room, mate.
When you see a side profile shot of this car, it is just rocket ship all day long. And 1959 and the Tri-Power as well?
Tri-Power, 428 cube, it's just a bit of fun.
How's it go without being a silly question?
Well, thanks to one of our local dyno tune guys, it's going a whole lot better now than I ever expected. So I didn't realise just how bad it had actually got. So she's moving along quite nicely now.
Isn't that awesome? I mean, this is the car that really deserves to be on Classic Restos because, okay, sunshine, paint pops, absolutely amazing. The shape of the car, the interior of the car is brilliant as well. I mean, it must feel incredible taking this for a cruise.
We enjoy it. The car rides beautifully. The family like it. Yeah. Grandkids love it. Yeah, so no, it's very cool.
But don't you get excited every time you wash it? I mean, look around the back of the thing, would you? Look at that chrome and the shape, how the bar drops down in each corner. I mean, wow.
Yeah, it's all very cool, but do you know how long it takes to do that?
You seem to be worried about time, Ron. Or you got to catch a bus or something?
I don't have a lot of time, mate. I've got to make the most of this somehow or another.
It's good to see you, mate. And thanks for sharing your Pontiac with us. Yeah, that's a great example. Thanks, Ron.
Cheers, Fletch. All the best.
You're watching Americarna for 2016, and you're watching it on Classic Restos. Back with more classics right after this.
Every weekend around Australia, motoring enthusiasts get together to share their passion for cars and bikes. It's a passion that brings us together. All sorts of people, all sorts of cars and bikes. From the classics of today to the classics of tomorrow. At Shannons, we understand enthusiasts. So when it comes to insurance, it's got to be Shannons. Shannons, insurance for motoring enthusiasts. Call 13 46 46 for a quote.
Penrite, Australian-made, family-owned and operated. Make premium quality engine and racing oils, warranty-approved coolants, automatic transmission and manual gear oils, a complete range of engine and fuel additives, heavy-duty and industrial products for every application. Visit penriteoil.com for more information. Penrite, Australian-made for Australian conditions since 1926.
If you need a new piece of equipment for your workshop, you need Hare and Forbes Machinery House. From a garage jack through to a lathe, Hare and Forbes has the range. And Hare and Forbes Machinery House are Australian owned, established since 1930. You will be greeted by friendly, helpful staff, and you can buy from anywhere online at machineryhouse.com.au. Hare and Forbes Machinery House. Find your closest store at machineryhouse.com.au. Moving through Devon Street as we do, Americarna 2016. Time for Paul. How are you, Paul?
Yeah, I'm great, Fletch. Great.
It's good, mate. Love your car.
Yeah, no, it's pretty good, eh? I enjoy it. Really enjoy it.
You'd have to. 1955 Buick Century. Gorgeous thing.
Yeah, no, it's great. We brought it in from the States. Yeah, a bit of history behind it. It's was owned by an old dragster guy in the 60s, Don Prudhomme. So,
Snake and Mongoose.
Yeah, Snake and Mongoose. Wow. Snake owned it for 20 odd years.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a great car to have.
Isn't that amazing? You drag a car out of the States and you get that extra bonus thrown in, a bit of history there. Now, since you've had the car, Paul, what have you done to it?
Oh, it took a bit to comply because it had drop spindles on it, so we had to get that all sorted out, and it had a little bit of rust in the back, so we got that out, and as we went through it, there's a few colour changes on the long way, so we decided, we'll just repaint it, but back to the original colour, so yeah, so that's what we've done.
Beautiful green, Paul. What's the name of it?
Well, I think it's called Emerald Green, but we're not too sure, so that's what we've called it.
Doesn't matter. Just looks too good, doesn't it? Looking at the interior as well, I mean, these are dazzling cars. I mean, they really are. The hip lines. I love that 50s, the way that Chev went, where the beginning of the rear quarter dips down and meets the door. It went through the range, didn't it? Chev, Oldsmobile, Pontiac, all the way through.
Yep. Yeah, it did. Yeah, and I suppose it's quite unique with those sort of cars, and it's a point of difference too. You know, and it looks really good.
Mate, dripping with chrome, front and rear. I mean, just an iconic symbolisation once again of what these cars stood for, how they were designed, how they were manufactured. I mean, wow.
Well, they're made to last, didn't they? And they wanted. America always want the bling bling, and that's what they've got, haven't they? Yeah.
They're like big pieces of jewellery.
Yeah.
No, they were built back in a time when people used to wear their motor car, and that's how it used to work. Now, Paul, with your drop spindles, how's it affected with suspension geometry in terms of the way the big car handles?
It handled really poorly when we came here. Every bump you hit, it just wanted to jump across. So we took it to a guy called Jonesy's in Hamilton, and they sorted it all out. Spent a lot of time with it, but it actually handles really well now. Just glides on the road.
What powers it up front?
It's still the same nail head, 322. Yep. Yeah, nothing's been molested with it. It's just as it is. Yeah.
What a beautiful V8 engine they were, the Nailhead by Buick.
Yeah, and it gets up and goes pretty good. The dyno, it's got a Dynaflow gearbox which slows it up a bit, but it's just a point of difference with those cars too.
You don't even feel those transmissions change. I mean, they just wind up and just off you go.
Yeah, they feel like a plane ready to get going, yeah.
Let's put some emphasis for a second onto the dashboard. Now, I don't know what styling you'd call that. I mean, it's retro all day long. It's almost like a waterfall, how it comes down and curves around. I mean, it doesn't matter what angle you look at. There's always something different. It's almost like entertaining just to look at the car all day.
Yeah, there's a bit of chrome there, so it glares back at you. But, it's just a unique sort of look. It's really good.
I love the 50s cars too, where they use levers. You know, as I mentioned in the last episode too, it looked like a big job for someone to have to shift those big levers just to let a little bit of air in.
Yeah, and you need the air too, because it does get warm in those coupes. But, wind down all the windows. It's even got power windows on the thing, 1955. It's pretty good,
Yeah, it has too. I mean, it's so elaborate. But then again, I mean, we're looking at a top-of-the-line car here with this Buick Century. Seating, what's the deal there, Paul?
Oh, it's that roll and tuck sort of seating. So it's higher. It's higher. It's more comfortable, but hard to get in because it's so much higher. But it was all done in the States, so what you see is what we got.
Good on you, Paul. Beautiful 1955 Buick Century, two-tone paint all day long. Looks tremendous, mate. Thanks for bringing it along.
Thanks a lot, Fletch. Good to see you, hey?
Time for Rex on today's show now. Hello, Rex.
Hey, Fletch. How you going?
Good, mate. Good. 1962 Dodge Dart. How long have you had this car?
I've had it just on 6 years.
The reason I picked on you, it's like an R and S model Valiant on steroids, isn't it?
Yeah, they're in Australia. They're Phoenix, and Dart 330 here in New Zealand.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Right. Also to the Savoy.
Well, Savoy's a lot bigger vehicle, so different floor pan.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's interesting though because similar lines, and you can tell they're just related in the Mopar family of that era pretty well, can't you?
Yeah, they carried on from the 60s era, but they just changed the shape radically every year. So yeah.
Up there, Savoys, satellites.
Yes, yep. This is just like the small car version, yeah. Yep.
Well, the reason that I wanted to have an interview with Rex is because it reminds me of the super stock class. And these were the types of cars back in the early 60s that really held their own down the quarter mile.
Yeah. This particular vehicle did come out as a 413 car, and they also, then the next year they made the 426. Which was a drag car. Yes. But the same car basically.
Yeah, the 426 Ram Charger leading up to the 426 Hemi.
Yes, yep.
Okay, now Rex, what can you tell us about this particular car in terms of its life, before you?
But prior to me, I bought it off a panel beater. I'm from Waiheke Island, and I bought it off an old guy there who owned it for 25 years. He bought it crashed and never repaired it. Yeah. And I bought it off him, and then it sat in my workshop for nearly 5 years, and then I finally got around to fixing it. So it's only been on the road for about 18 months.
Look, it's your plain Jane. It's not a trophy-winning show car, but that's another reason why I want to have a talk to you, because it's a very original-looking type car. And what I love about these early Chrysler or Mopar vehicles is their lines. They were so exaggerated, weren't they?
Yeah, well, they only made the shape for 1 year. And whereas many of my friends say they're on really good drugs that year.
You wonder the design departments, the upper management signing off on their designs, over coffee in the tea room back in the day, what their discussions would have been like.
Yeah, they would have been fairly exaggerated, I'd imagine. But they came up with interesting design. Yep. Some people call it an ugly car, but it's all in what you like.
It's kind of like love it, hate it, but I guess you do love it because it is so radically different.
Yeah, well, it's when I first started looking at repairing it, I watched a lot of YouTube programs in the States and that, and a lot of the guys in South America have owned them, and they love them to bits. Yeah. They had all sorts of weird statements come out about them, but it really draws attention because it's different.
Yes. And that's why I like it, because of that. It is different. Rex, thanks for being on today's show, mate. Hang on, look what he's done here. What have you done to your thumb, mate?
Oh, the boot hinge bit me.
The boot hinge?
Yeah, the spring that holds the boot up got caught in the bodywork, and I stuck my hand up to see what was happening, and it released and broke the bone of my thumb.
See, these old cars, they might be good, but you have to treat them with respect, don't you?
Oh, they'll get you.
Yeah. With a sore thumb like that, it's a shame someone didn't step in and give you a hand.
Yeah, well, I was on my own.
Thanks, Rex.
Okay, thanks very much.
What I love about this 62 Dodge Dart is the fact that it's not a trophy-winning car, and not every vehicle on Classic Restos has to be. This car is 53 years old. The door cards are 53 years old, so's the dash and the paint. It's quite incredible that a car can go for so long and still be so enjoyed by its owner. Classic Americarna. You can see more of it on a Fletch tour.
There is nothing quite like a Fletch tour. Carlisle or Ford Nationals, GM Nationals and Chrysler Nationals await you.
Coming on the Fletch tour was really great.
The people that run the tour are fantastic.
Experience Route 66 from Chicago to Vegas, or choose the Detroit tour, attending the Woodward Dream Cruise.
If you're going to travel anywhere, you've got to do a Fletch tour.
On a Fletch tour, you're looked after every step of the way.
See FletchTours.com or contact All Things Travel, Lara.
In 1926, Australia's Penrite Oil Company was established. Almost 90 years of research, development and refining under the harsh Australian conditions has made Penrite Oil what it is today. Precision, performance, reliability and protection. Championship winning products. Trust Penrite.
If you need a new piece of equipment for your workshop, you need Hare and Forbes Machinery House. Hare and Forbes Machinery House have showrooms around Australia and New Zealand that will have you browsing for hours. See the largest range of industrial and workshop DIY tools. You will be greeted by friendly, helpful staff, and you can buy from anywhere online at machineryhouse.com.au. Hare and Forbes Machinery House. Find your closest store at machineryhouse.com.au.
I spend a lot of time out here. The RT Charger's the real deal. An E49. Remember A-Charger? I've always got projects on the go, so Shannon's laid-up cover helps protect my restorations. I'm Mopar through and through. It's a passion Shannon's understands. I wouldn't insure my cars and bikes with anyone else.
Shannons, insurance for motoring enthusiasts. Call 13 46 46 for a quote.
Moving through, time for something really old on today's show. We got Steve. Well, not that Steve's really old, but how you going, mate?
Yeah, good, thanks, Fletch.
Good. Now, 1930 A-model Ford. Wow, have a look at this. It's been restored to perfection, the old girl.
Yeah, it has. It's a very original old beast, and it's a survivor, I suppose, because a lot of them have been rotted and had various things done to them, horrific things over the years, but this is a survivor, yes.
I mean, the poor things, they literally, back in their time on some of the roads that they had, they fell to pieces, didn't they?
Yeah, it was pretty astonishing. My wife and I went to the Route 66 in 12, and to think that they once went across 2,500 miles of metal road with mum and dad and 2 or 3 kids and all the worldly goods, it seems pretty amazing. Yeah.
And all weather as well. Freezing cold, extreme heat, and they did the job. It was back in a time where if something fell off, you just get a bit of fencing wire and twist it up and hold it back on.
Absolutely, but I think simplicity has helped them to survive. You know, they're simple and robust, and I don't feel the least bit unsafe driving it today. It's pretty neat. Yeah.
The Model E, a big transition from the Model T. I mean, we went from timber wheels to the wire wheels. The Model A, it started to get a little bit of road presence about them, didn't they?
Yeah, well, certainly. I've never driven a Model T, but I understand you've got to do a bit of a university degree to get them to work. But yeah, these are pretty straightforward and quite driver friendly. Mechanical brakes to get a little bit of getting used to. You need to prepare to brake, but generally they're quite an easy to drive vehicle.
Now tell us about the history of it, Steve. Where it started its life, and how did you get the vehicle?
Well, really, we purchased the vehicle in Rhode Island, from Rhode Island in the States, and it originated from Connecticut, and I think that's probably one of the reasons it survived. But we decided to purchase it because my wife fell in love with it, and happy wife, happy life. But we had an old well-loved grandmother who was called Nellie, and so that's she's the car's named after her. The pickup, and so we bought it back. We shipped it back the same time we bought another car in from the States.
That's amazing. I love the decal on the door for the diner. You know, the warm beer, lousy food. You know, that's what we don't see. Creative marketing like that today. If I had a food shop like a cafe, that's the thing I'd do.
Yeah, well, it's a bit of fun, and Nellie was well known for a cup of tea. Was always
cold. Oh, probably cold.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, we glammed it up a bit.
I don't know about you, but when I look at these Model A's, it reminds me of watching the TV show The Waltons.
Yeah, you feel a little bit like that. It certainly takes you back in time, and it certainly. Today, I'm not sure many of us would go too far without air conditioning and all of the nice creature comforts. But
we have to keep reminding ourselves, Steve, that people technically came from horses to this era of vehicles. So, I mean, goodness me, back in the time, anyone that could buy a brand new Model A, wow, that was an incredible step up. $495 for a brand new one would have been pretty special, and I can imagine a family or an individual would have been very proud to drive it away brand new in its day. Absolutely. Steve, great talking with you, and good to see that you brought your wife with you and you're really enjoying Americarna for 2016. You've even got the right cap on, mate, so well done.
Yeah, great stuff, Fletch. All the best. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Time now for a big bad Mopar on today's show. We have a 73 Duster with a 360 lurking under the hood. To tell us more, here's Nikki. How are you, Nikki?
I'm really good, thanks, Fletch.
That's good. What can you tell us about this beautiful car?
She has been a progress of work, and she's been done over about 8 to 10 months, and yeah, she's great. She rides really well and is excellent to be in.
We've been a little rained in here this afternoon here in New Plymouth, and the water just beads on the paint beautifully. What's the colour?
It's close to a hemi orange, but we've just changed it up a little bit just to make it a little bit different.
It's awesome too, a left-hand drive car. Again, you know, you've got so many left-hand drive cars here in New Zealand. It's amazing.
It's I actually drove it yesterday, and it was brilliant. It just rides really well, and with the left-hand drive, it's actually it's cool. It's different. It keeps it original.
Kind of meant to be, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. You couldn't ask for anything more, Fletch.
So, Nikki, what's it like under the right foot?
It's not too bad. It's actually it rides well, and it's good, and it's smart, and yeah, we're happy with how it's come out.
But does it go good?
It goes really well.
Yeah.
Really well.
The 360, once you start putting a 4-barrel carb on those engines, you don't have to do much to them. They really do power well, don't they?
Yes, they do. I mean, the new Plymouth roads have been pretty tough, but you've just got to manage that. But yeah, you get good time to give it a good burst, and it's great.
Now, Nikki, when you acquired the car, what sort of condition was it in?
It was in a original condition, and but the paintwork wasn't very good. Vinyl roof, and gave us I suppose a base to start giving it what it is now.
The interior is amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it's my husband's done a lot to it, and he's had a lot of work or help with a friend, Mark. So yeah, it's been brilliant.
That's good. And if you're wondering who the husband is, his name's Ray, and he's just hiding over there in the bar while he sends Nikki out for the interview. Hey, he's got that all under control, hasn't he?
He has. We've done the same. He does the same thing when we do jet sprinting. So Yeah, I get the interviews and husband just hides in the shadows. So
Isn't that great? But look, a little bit of girl power on today's show with the Mopar. And before I let you go, what's your thoughts on Americarna for this year?
I think it's been brilliant. I mean, I think it's well organised. I think the people are great. You meet so much amazing people, and I think it will be around for a long time.
Nothing beats these events where when they happen, everyone's on the same page.
Absolutely.
And it's a level playing field. Everyone enjoys everyone else's cars in the company. It really is like a big family, isn't it?
Absolutely, yep. And we've met amazing people through this event.
Yep. Good on you, Nikki. Thanks for being on today's show.
Thank you. Thanks, Fletch.
You're welcome. Well, that was it. Americarna for 2016. What a sensational event. If you can, why not get yourself on a plane, get across the ditch and get here for Americarna in 2017. You'll be glad that you did. In the meantime, no matter where you're watching Classic Restos from, until next week, please ride and drive safe. I'm Fletch, signing off from the Taranaki region here in New Zealand, and I thank you very much for watching. You can like and follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/Classic Restos TV and watch catch-up episodes at shannons.com.au.
Classic Restos is proudly brought to you by Shannons Insurance, Penrite Oil, Hare and Forbes Machinery House, and Pace Farm Eggs.